What is up, everybody? It is I, Ronin, and today I'm coming at you with a special Christmas learning how to play with a new archetype, Holy Knight. So, if you are unaware of what Holy Knight is, it's basically Konami's attempt at a Christmas archetype. Honestly, it is pretty cool, a very cool rogue competitor, I think. And I quite enjoyed playing it, actually. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get right into the list. So, starting with the most important card in the deck, because everything revolves around this monster, we have Radiant Seiryu. So it is a level 7 light dragon with 2500 attack and 2300 defense. And if it is normal or special summon from the hand, you can target a card on the field and destroy it. It is protected from destruction by battle with dark monsters or their effects. And once returned at the start of the damage step, if it battles an opponent's monster, that monster can be banished till the end phase, and this thing can attack again. So, summoning from the hand, it's a pop or disruption. Obviously, the protection from dark is kind of niche, but still helpful in cases of things like, Dragoon over here. VFD is a little bit more complex, we'll get to him later. But, yeah, so, also the fact that it can sort of just soft remove problem monsters is pretty great. So all in all, a solid card. And now we'll get into the rest of the deck. And like I said, everything is about basically setting this up for disruptions. I also have 2 copies of Orc-Break Dragon just for an alternate target. It works as recovery options. You can play Return of the Dragon Lords in this deck if you want to do more of a rank 7 variant, which is possible. I just found I did not prefer that. But anyways, let's go ahead and get right into the other Holy Knight monsters. So first up, we have Holy Knight Rael. Also worth mentioning, all of them are level 4 light fairies. Any main deck Holy Knight monster is. Rael, when it's normal summon, lets you add a Holy Knight spell trap from your deck to your hand. Flamel, as a quick effect, you can discard it when an opponent's monster declares an attack to summon a level 7 light dragon from your hand. Also, you can bounce one back to the hand by banishing this from the grave. And then we have Holy Knight Astral, which, as a quick effect, you contribute a light fairy monster you control in order to special summon a level 7 light dragon monster from your hand. And by banishing this one from the grave, you can give a monster of that specification 1,000 more attack until the end of the next opponent's turn. Yeah, so all in all, pretty good. Flamel is definitely the most replaceable, but he and all the other main deck monsters are actually pretty worth running it free. Just because you want as many ways to summon Seiryu as possible. Generally speaking, the play that you hope to go for is summon Rael, search Bellfire, activate Bellfire to search your Seiryu, and from there hope you have the necessary traps to set up with or something to disrupt with. Speaking of that, though, let's go ahead and get on to the spell traps for Holy Knight. So Holy Knight Bellfire, as stated, lets you add a Holy Knight monster or level 7 light dragon monster from your deck to your hand. And if you control no monsters when you activate this and your opponent controls a dark monster, you can special summon a level 7 light dragon from your hand. This is a hard once per turn. After that, though, we have the technically other searcher, Holy Knight Nativity, is a continuous spell card, and it lets it so that during your main phase, you can reveal a light fairy from your hand, and basically just trade it for a level 7 light dragon in the deck, putting the thing revealed back on the bottom of your deck. And if your opponent activates a card or effect while this is on the field, you can special summon the level 7 light dragon from your hand. So it's also can serve on its own as a disruption if you just have it in a light fairy. So pretty good. Lastly, we have the spells. We have the Holy Knight field spell, Holy Knight Sky. It makes it so that you get basically 2 normal summons during your main phase, and during your turn when a level 7 light dragon you control is returned to your hand, you can draw a card. It is a hard once per turn, so not bad. I feel like I could definitely run this at less. I just don't know what I would replace it with. Maybe Valor. Maybe Effect Valor, but I'm not sure. But yeah, you can really run any amount of this and be fine, I think. Now, the 2 kind of other most important cards, because it sort of is your whole disruption. we have the traps Holy Knight Blast and Holy Knight Advent. Starting with Blast, when your opponent activates card or effect, bounce a level 7 Light Dragon back to your hand, negate the card, and negate the effect, destroy the card. As a hard once per turn, not bad. And then we have Holy Knight Advent, that makes it so during the main phase, you can special summon a level 7 Light Dragon from your hand, or return one to your hand. So basically, if you have Seiryu in hand, and then you have a Holy Knight Blast and Advent, what you can do is set Advent Blast, activate Advent during your opponent's turn to pop something as a disruption, and then have that negation live for whatever they are sort of going to go into next. It's even better if you just can get a Seiryu on the field turn 1, but that doesn't always happen. So yeah, it's not bad. It's kind of your main disruption play, this deck, because of the nature of Seiryu. You can go first or second. The only downside is, at a minimum, you will have to do the disruption first, and that might not always be something you're into, so keep that in mind. Beyond that, we just have some generic stuff to deal with, well, current threats. Extra deck space in Holy Knight is not tight whatsoever, so, free extravagance is fine. Called by the Grave, we do a lot of searching in this deck, do not want to get hit with that hand trap. Feather Duster, it's just a really good going second card, like, nothing more to say about it. Beyond that, though, I think that's everything in the main deck. Ooh, sorry, Angel 01. It's pretty cool. So by revealing a level 7 or higher monster from your hand, you can special summon it, and when it's special summoned by this effect and is on the field, it counts as 2 tributes for a level 7 or higher monster. So it's a light fairy that we can trade for nativity, as well as being a way to possibly normal summon one of our level 7s, which can be a little helpful at times. So now to the extra deck. As I said, space is not tight at all, so you can really run sort of whatever. Obviously, you have access to a lot of level 7s, so rank 7s. Flare Metal is always a good choice. Big Eye, kind of memey, but I love it. You have some rank 4 plays as well, so Baguska, if you really need to. Nightmare Package at 2 each because, don't want to banish them. As well as free Hippo Shinigami because everything here is light. Oh, and also, sorry, one more thing I forgot to mention in base deck. For our hand trap, we are going with Ghost Ogre because Effect Veiler would obviously be better given that synergizes better with Nativity as well as the deck as a whole. But this lets me deal with like VFDs and stuff, so yeah, I'm sticking with it. I'm scared of him. He is the true king of all calamities. Like, I'm not gonna play with that. Yeah, but no, extra deck, basically you can run whatever. I would seriously recommend, though, at least having like Baguska, because sometimes this deck has trouble getting off the ground. Now for the side deck, though, we have free Lightning Storm in case things get rough. Free Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries, as well as 2 copies each of Dragoon and VFD, so we can, possibly not banish them and side in Cherries for a hand trap if we need to, because I don't want to deal with these 2. Hanawada, this should probably be Effect Veiler. But I like it, it's fun, and it stops FTKs if you really need to and burn damage. And I love Hanawada. I realize a lot of other people don't love Hanawada, but I'm running it because he's fun and adorable, and I love him. And then finally we have Ash Blossom. Again, a lot of decks just sort of lose to an Ash Blossom, so kind of worth. Yeah. That being said, if you're new here, we just, after deck profile, go over a few replays. I show you what I liked, what I didn't like, the deck's basic combos and plays, etc., and so forth. But yeah, with all that being said, I will see you all in the first replay. Alright, so everyone, welcome to the first replay with Vare to Wheel. We are Tab, as usual, and our opponent is playing like a weird Crystron FA thing. I don't exactly understand all of. I mean, Mech Lords are here too. So, and apparently there's also Machina. So yeah, this deck's a little all over the place. So keep that in mind. But there is a reason I chose this replay, because inherently this deck is a bit slower in nature, and against things like this, Holy Knight just sort of infinitely thrives. So yeah, we're going to see that happen now. Starting, here we go. So to start, our opponent is going to summon the Whip Crosser. Oh, that's a little loud, isn't it? Bump the sound down just a tad. This one should be good. Okay. So he's going to summon the Whip Crosser, try to draw some off the FA Pit Stop, setting the Dead Heat. Didn't really draw anything off of it though, so now is on to us, and we basically have everything we need to fully set up our plays. So we are able to summon Rael, which will search us the Bellfire, which will get us another monster, which is going to be our Radiant Seiryu. At which point we're going to activate Nativity to go ahead and add another Seiryu, shuffling back in the Flamel. And then we're just going to attack over the Whip Crosser. He is going to activate the Dead Heat, which he will win off of, unfortunately for us. However, we were able to set the Holy Knight Blast, so this way if our opponent activates a monster effect, as you kind of have to with FA whenever you do anything, we will be able to summon the Seiryu from our hand, pop, and then go off. So as now our opponent's turn, who's going to go ahead and try to summon that gold gadget. We will be ashing that. We will be ghost ogring that because I don't want to deal with a linked monster right now. We will be paying 300 for the Whip Crosser. Now he is going to summon the other Whip Crosser from his hand. Thankfully, a effect was activated, so we are going to be able to use Nativity to summon Seiryu. Seiryu, I believe I popped the Dead Heat. Okay, I did. And after that, he goes into the Platinum Gadget. Unfortunately, this cannot be special summoned except by its own effect, and this is too high level, so he is a little stuck on that. However, it is now our turn once more. We're going to reactivate Bellfire to go ahead and get our Rael for searches, who we're going to summon. Rael is going to go ahead and get us the Holy Knight Advent, which is basically sets up our disruption loop. Then we're just going to attack over, banishing the Platinum Gadget, because if it's destroyed, it'll just float. So we're able to get in a couple big hits here. He gets the Platinum Gadget, kind of useless outside of the outside the extra monster zone, so I am satisfied with that. He's going to draw another Whip Crosser. And he's just going to pass at that. Not much he could really do here. I would have maybe tried to set the Whip Crosser, but that's all I could think of. Anyways, back to it. So we're going to draw, get our Astral, attack, go ahead and banish that so we can't float, and then just attack for gain. So obviously our opponent kind of bricked in this one, playing a sort of weirder deck. I at least haven't seen Crystron FA Mech Lords before. If anyone else has, though, please let me know, because I am fascinated. But against slower decks like this, just in general, this deck thrives because its main thing is the Seiryu pop during your opponent's turn. So anything that can't really play through that is going to struggle. However, anything that can play through that, this deck struggles against, which we're going to see in the next replay. I will see you all there. Alright, everybody, welcome to the second and final replay of Sting, playing what appears to be 52-card Dryatron. So, fun thing about Dryatron, they're really good at playing through disruptions, and that's kind of our whole jam, so a little problematic, but let's get right into it. So we will be going first this time, so we're going to activate the Bellfire to go ahead and search our Rael, because that will be able to get us the Holy Knight Advent. Summon it, search the Advent, set those two with a Seiryu in hand. Pretty decent position for a turn 1 in this deck. Now we're on to our opponent, who is going to start doing Dryatron plays. I'm not even going to act like I fully understand all of these. But it's a lot of summoning and setting up, and resummoning from the graveyard. We do have our negate live now, so I'm happy with that. So he's just going to end on Alpha Fubin, with a warning point, which is pretty decent, as well as the Dryatron counter trap, Meteor Shower. Unfortunately not live because no ritual monsters on the field. However, we are now back to us. So we're going to draw, have to activate the Pot of Extravagance first, obviously. Draw 2 to get another Bellfire. Activate it to go ahead and search ourselves another Rael, who we are... Well, first we're going to summon the Astral to put a Seiryu onto the field. It is going to get warning pointed after we try to pop the counter trap. So, fair move on Sting's part. This does make it so this Radiant Seiryu cannot attack. However, it does mean we do have options for our Holy Knight Blast. We're just going to attack in and do a little bit of damage here. Just a little damage. You know, we still have our Omni Negate on board, so we're pretty decent. He is going to use the Dryatron Nova to summon that one from the deck. Tribute it to bring back out the Ban Alpha. I believe that lets him search a ritual spell? No, lets him search a ritual monster. Okay. One of these, and that one lets him search a ritual spell. Okay. So, Meteoronus Dryatron is not once per turn. So my theory here was, you know, obviously against ritual decks, you negate the ritual spell. However, he had 2, and I hadn't fully read, which is unfortunate for me. However, he is going to go ahead and do that. We are going to negate it, go ahead and pull this back to our hand, and I didn't realize he had another ritual monster in hand at this point, so I did sort of loop right back into Holy Knight Advent to try to kill the things he had on the field to make the 4,000 needed. So that did not quite work out though, because he did have the necessary attack in hand, and he's just going to summon his DRA. I go into the battle phase, and this is where things start to get really bad for me. Because I do have a way around DRA if Seiryu had been able to stay on the field. However, he did pop our Holy Knight Advent as well as our Seiryu, because we could have used Advent to search another Seiryu by using our Rael. So, yeah, not much we can really do here. So we're just going to activate that, go ahead and summon Rael to go ahead and grab the Bellfire. Activate the Bellfire to get another Seiryu because it is important. We are able to now normal summon our Seiryu. However, he is going to Meteor Shower it, stopping us from completing our plan to take out the DRA. So that just goes back to the deck, and we get a defense position Astral with Rael's effect. So yeah, not really too great for us. However, our opponent is now just going to start popping off a little bit. Unfortunately for us, adding things back to hand, going to get the Chaos Max onto the field. And at that point, they just attack for game. So, again, I think these two replays really show well the two sides of this deck, because against something that's slower that can't really play through any disruption, this deck is incredible. It will stop it all the live long day, looping the Seiryu. It's a big number. It can get bigger with like Astral's Graveyard Effect. If you are playing casually, this deck is nuts, basically. This deck is nuts. However, against anything that can play through one disruption and one negate, well, you're going to have a bad time, because that's kind of all this deck does outside of big number. So, yeah, no, it's a weird one. It's a weird one. I did enjoy playing it, and I do think it is a competent archetype. It just really struggles after its main disruption and play to really do anything else, so there's not a huge amount of variety you could do with this. But yeah, all that being said, let me know your thoughts on the deck. Is there anything I could have done better with it, done worse? Anything you would like to see me play? I'm always open for suggestions, and am curious to see what people sort of think. But yeah, like if you liked, comment if you have something to say, and subscribe if you want some more. This has been Ronin, signing off.